Agatha, what's a 5-letter word meaning from now until midnight, ending in Y?
Today.
Today.
What a waste. There's a million girls in this city, and you go to bed at 10 o'clock.
First, I have my eggs, and then we have these one-sided conversations.
I think it's a crying shame. A handsome man should be out dancing at night, not sleeping. Whatever became of the rumba?
Same thing that happened to the gavotte.
I used to love to do the rumba. Scum da da da, chicka chicka boo, chicka chicka boo, do 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 do, do do.
Yes, I think scrambled eggs would be nice.
I still say, a healthy single man should be out until dawn.
Which is exactly what this healthy single man did the night before last.
That doesn't count. You were on a case.
I'll get it.
I'll get it. Probably Mrs. Freelander. You the one in on the football pool.
Yeah.
Coming. Two things she does well. Collect money and lean on doorbells. Yes?
Is the commissioner in?
Well, he's having breakfast. Won't you come in?
I won't be disturbing him.
You are disturbing me. And I love it.
Oh, Matt.
Agatha, I think the toast is burning.
What toast?
Mac, have you heard about Vanessa?
Who?
Vanessa Vale. I just came from the morgue. They called me down there to identify her.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh, it was. It was just horrible. She was wearing the same housecoat that I'd photographed her in just last week. And that lovely amethyst ring.
Come on, Georgie, sit down. Let me get you some coffee.
No, it's all right. It just doesn't make any sense to say that that beautiful creature killed herself. Well, I mean, she had everything. Just 6 months ago, she signed a $250,000 modeling contract.
How well did you know her?
Fairly well. I'd used her often as a model. I mean, she was a photographer's dream. She had incredible bone structure and magnificent cheekbones.
Even beautiful girls get depressed.
Oh, no, not Vanessa. But I mean, she would get depressed, yes, but she just wasn't the type to jump off of a building.
After every suicide, somebody is bound to say he or she wasn't the type.
Yes, but Mac, this isn't just somebody saying it. This is me, Georgie.
Would you feel better if I looked into this?
Would you?
Well, do what I can.
Oh, you're beautiful.
If I find anything, I'll let you know.
All right, at lunch today.
Oh, well, no, I don't think I can...
Oh, no, you can pick me up at 1:30. Oh, you are a darling, Mac. I just knew that I could count on you. Poor Vanessa. Thanks, Mac. I'll see you later.
How did you ever let that one get away?
I'm beginning to wonder that myself. Charlie?
Good morning, Commissioner.
How's it going?
Terrible. I've gained 5 pounds in 2 weeks.
That's known as the executive syndrome.
Well, I never knew the paperwork could be that fattening.
What are you working on?
The Vanessa Vale case.
Gotta see what you have.
Sure. Come on in. It's almost closed. Commissioner, would you care for a dietetic sour ball?
No, thank you. I'll have one of these.
It keeps your mind off of smoking, sir. Thank you.
The Vanessa Vale case?
Well, there isn't much to tell, really. Chief Paulson's pretty sure it was a suicide.
Well, I know somebody who would argue that one. Somebody a lot prettier than Chief Paulson. On the other hand, Chief Paulson is a commanding figure in his own right.
What about the Vanessa Vale case?
Oh, just wondering.
Well, you don't have to, Commissioner. It's under control. What's holding up the medical examiner's report?
I was just getting right on that, Chief.
If you don't stay right on top of them, nothing ever gets done.
Well, it's a good thing we got you, Chief. But are you sure it was suicide?
Commissioner, take my word for it. The lady's boyfriend gave her the brush off. She got depressed, took a dive. Simple.
What about the apartment? Any sign of forced entry?
Not a scratch. And, no note. But they don't always leave notes.
Time of death established?
3 eyewitnesses and a smashed wristwatch. Lieutenant?
Yes, Chief. Right here, sir.
No, that's pretty conclusive. On or about 12:20 a.m.
I'll have the rest of it nailed down before noon.
What about the lady's boyfriend?
Francois Balmain, 26, of French nationality. Seems to be an avant-garde filmmaker when he's employed, which he isn't right now. Let's see. 2 arrests for vagrancy, 1 for marijuana. Oh, and wanted for a deportation hearing.
That sounds like a pretty good catch for her.
We located his apartment. He wasn't there. But that doesn't necessarily mean he's involved in anything.
Did he leave any clothes?
They're gone. Okay, I've got that apartment staked out.
What?
I think Chief Paulson was just about to tell you about Mrs. Roberts, sir.
Okay. She's a neighbor. She saw Balmain enter the Vale apartment sometime between 10 and the time of death.
Yeah, well, that's a little vague. Did she see him leave?
She doesn't know. She isn't sure of anything. She's a lush. And she's the only one to put anybody else in that apartment even around the time.
Well, still, if her boyfriend might have been there, don't you think it might be a...
Put out an APB on Francois Balmain.
That light area you see around the hairline, Commissioner, is sort of a clay. It's this stuff. The remains of a cosmetic beauty mask. Those particles were taken out of the hair of the deceased.
You mean she plastered her face with a beauty mask and then jumped 15 stories?
That's weird. A beauty treatment right before you're going to kill yourself doesn't make any sense.
No.
I've stopped trying to deal with sense. I just deal with the facts.
What about this mark on her back?
Oh, come on, Mac. 15 stories? That's a lot of impact.
Yeah, but she landed on her face.
That's right, on the face.
Well, the scrape is on her back.
Well, maybe she slipped climbing over the wall. Maybe she clipped something on the way down. Mac, I'm not prepared to guarantee that she was in perfect shape before she jumped.
Commissioner, is it true that you're personally stepping into the Vanessa Vale investigation?
Sorry, please.
Possible homicide?
Only if you don't get out of my way.
But you don't deny it?
You heard the commissioner.
Do you deny it, Commissioner?
No comment.
Next car, please.
But, Commissioner, all I'm trying to do is find out what this is all about.
She landed 47 feet from the building line, which means that she must have gone out about right here.
Look.
What?
Glass. Her watch crystal, I'll bet you. You got something to play?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we'll check that out at the lab. Now, if it is... Yeah. If it is her watch crystal, how does she jump over and smash her watch at the same time?
You're asking me. I don't know.
And look at this. This plant holder. I'll bet that's what she hit her back on.
Yeah?
Look here. Hits it like so.
Right.
Smashes her watch right here.
Uh-huh.
And goes over backwards.
It's very possible.
You don't jump over a balcony backwards, you get pushed over. Now all we have to do is prove it.
Ah, she's beautiful, but she sure does like to look at herself.
Mm-hmm.
at this.
Huh? Expensive. Look. Test shots, Vanessa Vale. Photography, FB.
Francois Belmont.
The boyfriend. We ought to run this stuff. Look, here's a projector.
All right.
Screen?
Yeah.
But what's going on here? Nobody's supposed to be in here. The girl that lives here lived here.
You must be Mrs. Roberts.
You're the police.
I'm Commissioner McMillan. This is Sergeant DiMaggio.
No relation.
To whom?
To Joe DiMaggio.
I thought you were no relation to Howard DiMaggio. He's the West Coast Wine and Spirits, you know.
Could you tell us anything about Francois Belmont?
He's the boyfriend. He was in this apartment and he left here last night. I told the other policeman that.
You said he left after 10. I was hoping that now that you thought about it,
Oh, I have.
you could be more precise.
Well, now that I've thought about it, maybe it was before 10. Maybe it wasn't even last night. I get so involved in my wine tasting.
We understand.
But he definitely was here recently. Yelling and screaming.
Yelling and screaming about what?
You know, the way they behave together. Kiss, kiss, lovey-dovey. And then 10 minutes later, he'd be throwing things. Ah, the way young people behave today. If they just would have wine with their meals. Oh, why don't you both come back to my apartment? I'm tasting the Napa Valley today.
No, thank you, Mrs. Roberts. Shouldn't this food be refrigerated?
Oh, yes. Thank you very much. You know, I don't know what all the fuss is about. Is it a crime to kill yourself without a license? Goodbye to you both. Nice meeting you.
Hello. Oh, hi, Lieutenant. Yeah, it's Lieutenant Enright. Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, I'll tell him, Lieutenant. Bye-bye. Sir, it's about Francois Belmont. He's up in a flea bag on Union and Polk Streets. And there's some guy there with him now. A black and white is on its way. Help me up. Take the stairs. He went in there. Go back down and head him off.
There's a lot of access out of that building. I don't know where he went. Uh-oh.
He got away, Commissioner.
Oh, good. Otherwise, I'd have to ask a lot of questions and write down all the answers. What about his friend?
He's still up in the apartment. I think.
Tell me,
Is there a law against giving shelter to a former friend?
You knew he was wanted, didn't you?
Yes.
It's called harboring a fugitive.
So what are you gonna do? You gonna arrest me?
Depends.
On whether I inform?
On whether you cooperate. By giving us information which, whatever your former friend did or did not do, may save his life.
Look, we made films together. He understood the camera and how to make a statement with it. We made films that really meant something. And then?
And then he met Vanessa.
Yes, and then he met Vanessa. And she taught him how to make pretty pictures. She put dollar signs in front of his eyes. Before he'd even had a chance to perfect his talent, she made him go commercial. He was gonna have a big name, fast and cheap.
And he went for that.
And he went for her. I mean, can you blame him? She was gorgeous.
Yes, she was.
But I knew it wouldn't last.
Why?
Because he finally got tired of her, and then he found another girl.
Who?
I don't know her name. I told you, Francois and I haven't been very close lately. But he did say that there was another girl, and that's what he and Vanessa were arguing over last night. And that when he left, she was screaming at him. And then we heard this morning that Vanessa was dead, and that later your people showed up, and Francois took off.
You know where he went?
No. And if I did...
And if you did, you'd tell us. And if he gets in touch with you, you better tell him to turn himself in, because if he killed Vanessa, or if he didn't kill Vanessa, he's liable to get himself shot.
Look, you came home to relax and have a cup of coffee. So why are you working? What? Oh, you're not working. Hey, that's what I call a real looker. That's Vanessa Vale.
Mm-hmm.
Do you mind if I give you a little advice?
Gonna get some, aren't I?
Go after a live one.
All right. Hold on a second. I'll check the negative. Right.
Poor baby. She wasn't pie to work with, but she was dynamite in front of the camera.
I'm going to miss her.
Oh,
I'm not. I won't be the only one.
what is that supposed to mean?
If the shoe fits.
Well, I'll miss her. She was always very sweet to me. And besides, she had great taste in men. I wonder who'll get custody of Francois.
Beulah has dibs, don't you, love?
We are not amused.
He's talented, that Francois.
And rude, arrogant, intense.
And sexy as all get out.
Yes, Vanessa certainly had everything.
All that, and Murray's star, too.
What man can make, a man can break.
Do you think Murray changed his mind about her, and that's why she,
I think maybe his wife changed it for him.
That's cheap. Mr. Starr had no personal interest in Vanessa. She was obsessed with Francois, and Mr. Starr respected that.
Oh, dear, Muddy. Mr. Starr.
I think you're all horrible. Vanessa not even buried yet. I won't listen to another word of this.
Oh, Mac, that was Beulah Harrington playing friend of the deceased, and not too convincingly.
Oh, I'm right on time.
I'll just go up and get my jacket. Meg, would you please introduce our guest?
A pleasure. Hi. Been
Meg,
too long.
Long time. Is that Vanessa?
Yes. Those were for the brochure. Maurice Starr built his whole campaign around her. She was his personal discovery.
How personal?
Personal. This is Guy Bregan, the art director.
How do you do?
And Ernie Hovings, the account executive for Star Cosmetics.
How do you do?
And this is Mac, Commissioner Stuart McMillan.
Commissioner?
Police commissioner, and my date for lunch.
We were just discussing the Vanessa Vale suicide.
Yes, we don't understand why she killed herself.
Perhaps she didn't.
She might have been murdered?
You mean somebody pushed her off that balcony?
Excuse us, but I've made a reservation for lunch, and I'm afraid we're going to be late.
Obviously for two. Right, Commissioner?
Nice meeting you.
You have a feeling you have been wanted.
Shall we?
Georgie, I'm going to have to take a rain check.
Oh, Mac.
Business.
Okay, but you owe me.
Agreed.
Dinner here tonight, 7:30, and no more rain checks.
You're beautiful. Star?
Commissioner?
You do?
Come in.
Thank you.
You're here about Vanessa.
Yes, you were close friends, weren't you?
People say I created Vanessa. I invented Vanessa. I fashioned her in all her beauty out of a naive, untutored young woman. We became good friends. Of course, she had other friends.
How was she fixed for enemies?
None that I know of. Does it have to be an enemy? What about a burglar, housebreaker?
No, that's unlikely. A burglar would have stolen her jewelry. There was expensive photographic equipment.
Balmain stuff.
Do you know him?
I told you she had other friends. Francois Balmain was one of them. He photographed her well. She never realized it was impossible not to.
I take it you don't care for Mr. Balmain.
More important, I knew he was bad for Vanessa, wasting her time, her talent. The irony is that yesterday at lunch, she finally saw the light. She was going to break up with him. Say, you don't think that I had anything to do with it?
How does your wife feel about Vanessa?
A good question. I wish I could answer it. I never asked her.
And she never volunteered.
My wife and I have an understanding. We respect each other's identity and each other's associations.
Very progressive. Still, I'd like to talk to her.
Why not, as soon as she gets back from Caracas? She left last Friday.
I take it she wasn't here then when... how about you, Mr. Starr?
When Vanessa was killed. Aren't you supposed to read me my rights before?
Well, you do have the right to remain silent in the event that you waive...
Forget it. I was taking a drive last night.
After midnight?
Some people do drugs, some do booze. I do driving late at night. It relaxes me.
You stop any place?
I never stop anywhere.
Not even for gas?
You know, you're right. I did stop for gas.
Where?
Just off the Bayshore Freeway, I guess.
Your gas?
I didn't write it down.
No, of course not. Thank you, Mr. Starr. We'll, check it out.
I'm sure you will.
Unless, of course, there was somebody with you to back up your story.
Sorry.
You were alone.
I sometimes am.
Do you remember this one?
You were a lot younger then.
You weren't.
You're sweet. You know, that was the first picture that I ever had published. I guess you were lucky for me.
Come a long way, Georgie.
I hope you're in the mood for ceviche.
Huh?
Ceviche. It's raw fish. Don't you like raw fish?
Did you make it?
Of course I made it.
Then I'll love it.
Good. Then I'll eat the steak.
Well, I don't want to deprive you.
Then don't.
Cheers.
Oh,
Mm. It's good to see you laugh.
I haven't much today, have I?
Vanessa's death hit you pretty hard, didn't it?
Yeah, I still can't believe she's gone. Makes me look at everybody in a funny way. Hate myself for my own suspicions. Well, Beulah, for instance. Oh, Mac, this is shameful, but she seems to be the only one. Well, I mean, she's going to get Vanessa's contract. I don't like to say it, but...
You mean Beulah is the only one who will benefit from Vanessa's death?
Yeah. $250,000. Tons of publicity. And the way I hear it, a new patron.
New patron?
Murray Starr.
Did Beulah have anything to do with Francois?
Oh, no, never. But that wasn't Beulah's fault. Anything that was Vanessa's, Beulah wanted. You. Mac, what are you thinking about? Don't say it's me.
It's not you.
Oh, what a terrible thing to say. It's her, isn't it?
With those eyes. What's behind those eyes?
Oh, there's everything behind those eyes. That's what made Vanessa what she was. It's not all there in those stills. You'd have to see the way she smiled, the way she moved.
Right.
Where are you going?
To the movies.
Great. You know how long it's been since I've seen a good film?
Alone.
What?
I won't be long. Will you trust me?
Francois? Please, don't hurt me. Take anything you want.
Vanessa?
Who are you? What are you doing here?
Okay. I'll go first. I'm investigating a murder.
Whose?
Yours.
I'm sorry, I just don't follow you.
Where have you been?
Up in the Sierras. I have a cabin there.
And I suppose there's no television or radio.
No electricity, as a matter of fact.
Otherwise, you'd have heard about your own death. At 12:20 last night, someone was pushed off of your balcony.
Oh, no! Oh, my God! It was Louise.
Who is Louise?
Louise Sherrill. She's my best friend. She's a travel writer. Whenever she's in town, she stayed with me.
Could she have worn your clothes?
We shared all the time. But who would want to kill Louise?
Maybe nobody wanted to kill Louise.
But somebody. You mean somebody thought it was me?
Did anybody know you were out of town?
Only Louise. She called me about 20 minutes before I left. I told her she'd have the place to herself. I wanted to get away. There was something I wanted to think through.
Did anybody see you when you drove to your cabin?
There's no road, just an airstrip. I flew up myself. The plane's on long-term loan from a friend.
Murray Starr? You know, Vanessa, in investigating your murder, I've learned a great deal about you. I feel as though I know you. Yes?
Commissioner, yeah, I've got a gas station attendant here who says that he remembers seeing Starr last night about midnight.
Was he alone?
No. No, according to the attendant, he was with a dynamite brunette.
He's sure it was Starr.
Well, he identified his picture.
Okay, thanks.
You don't suspect Mary Starr?
The only person I rule out is Mrs. Starr. Anybody who as much as knew you is under suspicion. Guy Bragan, Ernie Hoving, even Georgie?
No. But if you want a candidate, try Aaron Leacock. The director, he hates me.
Let's talk about Francois.
Francois. He's got to be told I'm all right. Have you talked to him, too?
No, but I've tried. He's on the run.
But why would he?
Usually people who are on the run have something to hide.
Or if they're afraid someone will suspect them. Francois's no angel, Commissioner. But he's no killer. He does have a criminal record. And we had a fight last night.
What about?
The usual. Marriage. He wanted to. I didn't. Then he told me we either get married right away or we split. That's why I wanted to go away and think it through. It's all my fault. If I hadn't gone away...
Well, we gotta get you out of here. Somebody, we don't know who, thought he killed you. Killed your friend instead. But he or she doesn't know that. I'd like to keep that advantage. I want you to play dead. Hide out, disappear.
Hide out? Where? Back at my cabin?
No. Back at my cabin. Agatha! Agatha!
Hi, Commissioner.
Take your coat.
Oh. I'm not seeing what I'm seeing.
You are seeing, but you're not telling what you're seeing. Nobody's to know she's alive.
Vanessa.
Now, she's going to be staying with us for a while. I want you to prepare the guest room.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Is that the best arrangement you could make?
Wait, you... How about a drink?
No, thanks. I feel kind of drained. I think I'll just get a bit of sleep.
Okay. Talk tomorrow. Vanessa. Did anybody else beside Louise have a key to your apartment?
Francois.
Good night.
Still not right. The drape isn't hanging properly. Can't you see it's loose in all the wrong places? Ugh, not that tight. Now I can't breathe. It looks awful.
Miss Harrington?
Yes? Commissioner?
Ma'am, do you think you could stick pins into somebody else for a while?
I could, but my heart wouldn't be in it.
Miss Harrington.
Call me Beulah.
Beulah. According to your statement, you were in bed when Vanessa Vale was murdered.
That's right. But of course, I don't have any witnesses, Commissioner.
How about the gas station attendant who saw you with Murray Starr?
In my bedroom?
No, at the station. You do remember being out with Murray Starr, don't you?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure whether you were in your own bed or out driving around with Murray Starr? It's very interesting. Because you were at a gas station not far from Vanessa's apartment somewhere around midnight. Vanessa was murdered at 12:20.
You don't think I... You can't possibly.
When all else fails, Beulah, try the truth.
Yes, I was with him. But we never went near that building. And just because we were together doesn't mean there's anything between us. I got this letter, and I called him because I thought he ought to see it. That's why we were together that night.
What kind of letter?
A letter accusing me of having an affair with Murray Starr. It was a threatening letter.
Of course it wasn't signed.
No, but I was pretty sure who it was from.
Murray Starr's wife?
Mm-hmm. Murray tore it up and threw it away. He said I should just forget it.
He told me they had a very progressive relationship.
That's what Murray always said. But I guess deep down, Jenny Starr had her pride.
Was that all, Beulah?
That's all, Commissioner. Swear it.
I guess so. I'll be better when you're here, though.
I ought to be home in about 45 minutes.
Tell him I'm making a banana souffle.
Mac, Agatha said to tell you she's making you a banana souffle.
Yes, I heard. And tell her I'm only coming home for lunch, not to a state banquet. I'll see you later.
Okay, bye-bye.
You ready?
Oh, what? For what?
Well, something elegant yet unpretentious would be fine. I'm not particular.
Oh, lunch.
Yeah, our date, remember?
Well, Georgie, something's come up.
Oh, well, you can tell me about it over my lobster salad, darling. I'm starved.
I've got to cancel. I've made an appointment.
Oh, it must be terribly important. Break it.
I can't.
Oh, now, Mac, what business could be more important than me?
Oh, Georgie, you're not being fair.
No, of course I'm not. But good little sport that I am. Why don't I drop you off?
Oh, no, it's way out of your way. Besides, I have my own car. Thanks.
Oh, no, it's no trouble at all. Where are you going?
Georgie, I'm going home for lunch.
Oh, how quaint. How marvelously old-fashioned of you. Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't I go along?
I said it was business.
Yes, I know what you said. And now you listen to me. I called Agatha a little while ago because I wanted to find out your favorite restaurant around here so I could surprise you and take you to lunch. And she hemmed and she hawed, and she finally told me not to bother because you wouldn't be able to make it. And the way I piece it together is that you've got a romantic little tryst waiting for you back at your apartment during my lunch hour. And don't try to tell me about her, Commissioner. I don't want to know.
What was that?
Oh, just a little attack of jealousy.
Well, I guess it's nice to know that somebody cares, sir.
Oh, thank heavens you're here. I've been trying to get you all day.
Your banana souffle fell.
She's gone. Vanessa, gone. Oh, I was in the kitchen whipping up my banana souffle, just talking about this and that, and she was in here on the phone.
You mean you were talking to her while she was talking on the phone?
Oh, you know how I do that.
Yes, I do know.
Then when I realized she wasn't answering me, I figured she was just ignoring me. You know, like you do sometimes when you're on the phone.
I'm sorry.
Don't mention it. Anyway, when I came in here, she was just gone.
Do you know who she was talking to?
Well, she sounded very weepy, like she was pleading with somebody. I figured an ex-husband.
No, she's never been married.
Well, why was she crying?
Do you remember anything she said?
That would be eavesdropping.
Do you remember anything she said?
Well, before she left, I looked in, and she was saying, please, you've got to tell me. I'll do anything. I'll do any... I think she said, I'll do a walk-on for you. I'll do a cameo bit. I'll get you a release. Does that make any sense?
Come in. No, financing is no problem. And we'll have a... Arnold, I'll talk to you later. All right, what do you want?
Congratulations.
On what?
I hear you're going to make a picture. Vanessa going to be in it?
Maybe.
Wrong answer. You're supposed to say, are you crazy? Vanessa's dead. You knew she's alive, didn't you? You knew we were investigating a murder. Why didn't you tell us?
I didn't tell my mother either.
Withholding information? Harboring a fugitive? Adds up to a felony. Now, if I make one little phone call, you won't make your picture for quite some time. Where's Francois?
I don't know. He calls in every now and then, but he never tells me where he is. And that's the truth.
DiMaggio, any messages?
Oh, yes, sir. A lady called here for you. She said it was important, but she wouldn't leave her name. Said for you not to worry, that you'd understand.
And of course, she didn't say where she was.
No, sir. But wherever it is, there was an engine in the background. What, a boat? Maybe a race cars?
A plane?
Well, not a jet plane, sir. A jet goes, not,
A private plane?
Maybe.
Thanks, Sergeant. Out, Vanessa. What do you think you're doing? You're going up to the cabin, aren't you? Francois is up there.
He left a message for me on my answering machine.
He finds out you're still alive, and his first move is to get you to go up to an isolated mountain cabin? What does that sound like to you?
He loves me, Mac.
Like hell he does.
Don't give me logic. He loves me, and I'm going up there.
All right. I'm going with you.
You'll arrest him?
I'll talk to him first.
You're sure you can fly this thing?
I'm the Red Baroness. You got to try to understand, Mac. Francois' hiding because he's afraid that the police will try to connect him with Louise's death.
Did he know her?
Well, they'd met, and he knew me, and he does have a police record. Uh-oh.
What's wrong?
Elevator's gone. We've lost up and down control.
Hope you can land this thing.
We're lucky by jockeying the throttle and the trim tab.
are good.
Landing's the tough part. Cable. It snapped.
Mm-hmm.
How could that have happened?
How could it not happen? Most of the strands have been cut, see? Only one strand left.
Who?
Who do you think?
Francois?
He's the only one who knew you'd be flying this plane today.
Mac, I'm sorry about today. About running off without telling you.
I'll forget it.
People do funny things when they're in love. When they think they are. I don't know what to think.
Why don't you get some rest?
Okay. Good night.
Good night. Yes.
Mac, I'm sorry to come barging in on you like this, but I just hope that you'll forgive me.
Oh, nothing to forgive.
Oh, well, then you're not angry with me for that dumb little tantrum I threw.
Of course not.
I didn't have any right to do that, did I?
Why don't we talk about this tomorrow? I've got a lot of things I have to
Georgie! Well, it's just like Grand Central Station, isn't it? I mean, with all of us meeting at the door at the same time, night all.
Something's going on.
Oh, why don't we go see?
No. Somebody else is here.
Where? There's nobody here.
Well, then you won't mind if I take a look for myself?
Georgie, if you open that door, something in our relationship is going right down the drain. It's called trust.
Oh, Mac, now, I want to trust you.
It's your decision, not mine.
Oh, Mac, I'm sorry.
Georgie, I really have work to do.
All right, look, I don't want to bother you, but if there's anything that I can do to help, then please let me know.
I promise.
Well, it was a lovely evening, even though it didn't last long.
Good night.
Will you call me tomorrow?
I promise.
All right.
Oh, Georgie, you finish shooting your campaign
With Beulah?
tomorrow, don't you?
Right.
Well, why don't you have a party? Invite all your friends. Nothing elaborate.
Well, sure. What time?
Oh, 5-ish. Let's make it a cocktail party.
Right, done.
Terrific.
Now, you sure that you don't want to tell me what all this is about?
Positive.
Good night.
Good night.
I would like a glass of milk.
Kitchen's all yours.
Busy household.
Mac, I just wanted to tell you how happy I am that I never opened that bedroom door.
Good night, Georgie.
Good night.
You better get out of here before I change my mind. Good night.
Good night.
I'm coming. Agatha. Oh, hi there. Sure, just a minute. Commissioner!
Right here. Agatha, do you realize that there are employers who would like to have their phones answered by something like, Commissioner McMillan's residence?
Well, you see, I say Agatha, and they know it's me. Then I put you on, and they know it's you. Oh, by the way, it sounded urgent. Sergeant DiMaggio.
Yes, Sergeant.
Aaron called in. Very cooperative.
Something about Francois?
Yes, sir. He's holed up in a furnished room at 3133 Olive Street, according to Aaron.
Got it.
Oh, Commissioner, Aaron had a special request for us. He said it's the reason that he's helping us out.
I know. Bring Francois back in one piece.
That's right.
Well, that's up to Francois.
Don't tell me you aren't going to have breakfast.
Okay, I aren't going to have breakfast.
Well, good. It's all the more for me. I like my cooking.
And speaking of cooking, if you lose Vanessa again, I'll boil you in oil.
Boiled Agatha. Ugh.
Rights.
Oh, Commissioner, it's the French police. They're answering your inquiry.
Thank you. Send him in, please. Sit down, Francois. This telex is about you, Francois. One arrest for assault on a girlfriend. Another for starting a free-for-all at a rally. Another for instigating a night fight in a cafe. You're what the law might term violence-prone.
I'm flattered.
It could sway a jury.
I did not do anything to earn a jury.
Maybe. We know a witness who saw you leave Vanessa's apartment the night of the murder after a loud argument. Was it about Murray Starr? Was it jealousy? If you couldn't have her, nobody else could?
Sir, did you...
No, here. Huh? Suppose you left Vanessa's apartment and then came back and found her on the terrace. That was your opportunity. You could push her over the railing. When did you first find out you killed Louise, not Vanessa?
I did not kill anybody.
Where were you yesterday morning? You were supposed to be with Vanessa up at her cabin. You were the only one who knew she'd be flying. You cut the cable on her plane.
That's a very interesting story, Commissioner. Don't waste it. Sell it to the television.
Well, if I'm wrong, you could straighten me out.
Would you believe me? Would you believe a violence-prone, marijuana-smoking foreigner who does not conform to your bourgeois mentality?
Try me.
Believe what you want. You will anyway.
All right, Francois, thank you.
Meg, babe, you better get upstairs and get ready.
But they're early.
I know. Murray, darling, you're early. But I'm so glad that you could make it.
It needs to be made right now as a drink.
Oh, well, fine. The bar's right over there. You look stunning, Beulah.
Thanks. Murray's pleased with the proofs.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Do you know, Georgie, they're not as good as the ones you did of me way back when.
Oh, but darling, I was younger then.
Well, Beulah, have you seen the pictures? Are you happy?
Well, frankly, I've been shot better.
Next time we'll shoot you with the Colt 45.
So where to, sir? Georgie's place?
Hmm? Oh, no. First to my apartment. Are you getting taller, or is it my imagination?
Oh, no. It's just the cushion. I had a rough time getting the department to issue it, but I told them it was for your comfort.
Your pillow is for my comfort.
Well, it's true in a way. You see, it's tough for me to drive with the seat pushed all the way back, and if the seat is not pushed all the way back, then there wouldn't be enough room for your legs.
Oh.
So if I sit on a cushion, then we're both about the same height.
Well, of course. That's the answer.
To what?
To what I saw and didn't see. Thank you, Sergeant.
For what?
For helping me solve a murder.
I think you're gonna love these shots. I've made Beulah look like an undergraduate.
Thank you.
More champagne for everybody.
And this is the young lady we're celebrating. Now, where are those photographs? I can hardly wait.
Just a minute. Meg, how we doing?
Coming right up.
Guy?
Right, love. Fabulous.
Sensational.
They're just great.
It's a triumph.
I told you so. Mac, darling, what a surprise. Am I overdoing it?
Just a little bit.
That's me, all right.
I'm sorry to ruin your party. Hello, Mr. Starr.
Commissioner?
Afternoon. Very nice.
Thank you.
Hello.
Commissioner?
Hi. But I did bring somebody to liven it up. Will you come in, please?
Vanessa, we thought you were...
Vanessa, this is your idea of a great show. It was very
She was my house guest.
Just had the sense to put a dime in the telephone and called it.
Why didn't you tell us?
Really, very.
This is
incredible.
incredible.
I mean, it was some sort of a joke, Vanessa. Just had the sense to put a dime in the telephone and called it.
Don't, Francois. Don't look at me like that. I didn't tell the police, Francois.
You didn't tell the police what?
I didn't tell anything.
Go on, tell him.
I didn't tell you the real reason I left town that night. We had an argument. Francois left. I tried to sleep, but I couldn't. It didn't matter anyway. He called. He warned me that if I didn't give up my career and if I didn't give up my friendship with Marie Starr, he said he'd kill me. He sounded crazy, like he was on something. He started screaming and he cursed at me. He said he was coming right over to settle things once and for all. I was frightened, so I hung up and got out of there as soon as possible. But he came back, and he killed the wrong person by mistake.
Lies. Lies. She's gone mad.
When I came back, you tried to kill me again. You cut the cable on my plane.
How can you believe that? It was true. We argued that night. But it was not about Mary Starr. It was about another woman. I was in love with her. Vanessa found out about it. I was her possession. She owned me.
Not a word of this is true.
I left her and her screaming. I went home, but she didn't let me rest. I got a phone call. She said if I was not back in 15 minutes, she was going to throw my camera in the incinerator. She knew where that camera was to me. So I came back. And outside the building, there were people. A man said somebody had fallen from the building. So I pushed through to take a look. It was Louise. It was Louise, you see. She was dead.
How could you be sure it was Louise?
The amethyst ring. I gave it to her. It was my grandmother's.
So Louise was the girl you were in love with?
Yes.
But that was Vanessa's ring. I photographed her wearing it.
No. Louise just loaned it to her for the pictures. She didn't know Louise was wearing my ring.
So you saw Louise, the girl you were in love with, dead, lying on the sidewalk, and then you just turned around and walked away?
All I could think about was myself. Saving my skin. Somehow I knew that she didn't just fall. That it could not have been an accident. That she had been pushed over that balcony. And I knew I would get the blame for it. My fingerprints all over Vanessa's apartment. My police record. Yes, I ran. For all the wrong reasons. But I am not a murderer.
He's lying. I never knew about him and Louise.
How tall are you, Vanessa?
5'4".
5'4". I'm 6'4", and yet when we sat in the plane together, our heads were the same level.
Maybe the seats are different.
No, you were sitting on a parachute.
I always do.
No, you don't. Because in the movie that Francois shot of you, you weren't wearing any.
I'm a very good pilot.
I know.
And a parachute, Mac, they're not really required. And anyway, the straps wrinkle my clothes.
Why were you wearing a parachute when I flew with you?
I don't know, I just did.
I'm saying you plotted to get rid of me. After leaving all your little clues lying around, you knew I'd show up at the airport. You were waiting for me. No, you wore a parachute because you cut the cable yourself. But you didn't know how long it would hold. Suppose it gave out when we gained higher altitude or flew over the Sierras. Then you'd have jumped, and I, without a parachute, would have been killed.
Mac.
It's not difficult to explain. After all, I did insist on going with you. Very clever.
You can't really believe this.
Why would anybody want to kill me? Was I getting too close? That got me to thinking. Why did you leave those beauty mask instructions on the mirror? You didn't need them.
If Louise hadn't tried that mask...
You learned to use that stuff for the photography. You didn't leave them there. You put them there.
Why would I?
To get rid of Francois and Louise at the same time. And the only way you could get rid of them both was to frame him for her murder and make it look like an attack on you. That was very, very clever. It was.
Do something. You're my friend. Help me.
You don't need a friend, my darling. You need a lawyer.
Booker.
Thank you.
Georgie, if you open that door, something in our relationship is going to go down the drain. It's called trust.
Mac, now why couldn't you trust me?
I trust you with my life.
Well, then why couldn't you tell me about Vanessa?
Because a good cop keeps his mouth shut, especially to over-inquisitive, gorgeous blondes. Here, I need a drink.
No, you've had enough.
No.
Well, then you knew Francois wasn't guilty, even before you got the two of them together for that little showdown?
I found out 10 minutes before we got here. See, we were riding in the car. And...
Yeah.
Don't ask. If I can't have another drink, how about something to eat? I'm getting hungry.
I've got couscous cooking.
Huh?
Couscous.
Sounds plural.
Vanessa, how wrong can you be about somebody? Well, I suppose the only thing that matters to me about a woman is her cheekbones. Now, with men, it's different. I think I'll shoot you photographically.
Oh, that's a relief.
Let's set up a date for a session. How about next Wednesday afternoon?
Do you work at night?
Oh, beautifully.
What do we have after this, DiMaggio?
11:30 over on Fremont. 12:30 in the mayor's office. 2 o'clock, you meet with the budget committee. 3:30, you're back here for a meeting with Chief Paulson.
Keep bouncing around this city from one side to the other. Who arranged this dumb schedule?
You did, sir.
Oh. Oh, well, hey, wait a minute. If I'm seeing Paulson this afternoon, what am I doing here now?
Well, it's the deputy district attorney, sir.
Again?
Yeah, I'm afraid so. Sir, sir, if you could just smile a little bit during the meeting, it might help.
Smile? All right. I'll smile. Good. This time, the deputy DA is not going to bother me. Look, we've been over this a dozen times. The Pomeroy case is not ready for prosecution.
I think it is.
And it's not your decision, it's mine. And until I say the case is ready, I'm not going to sign it over to you.
What are you trying to cover up, Commissioner? Police inefficiency? Or could it be that out of the 6 district attorneys, I'm the only woman?
Miss Bryant, we have met exactly 3 times. All 3 times you have implied male chauvinism.
Oh.
All 3 times you have waved a banner screaming women's lib. Now, are you a lawyer or are you a professional female agitator?
I'm only trying to get a job done, Commissioner. A job made very difficult by a one-man obstacle course.
What do you want?
Sir, it's 11:30.
Oh, you're right. I'm late.
Of course. What do you do? Tell him to come in here every time the going
If I
gets
didn't
rough?
have to leave right this minute, I would
You
take
would
the,
what?
I would take the deputy district attorney across my knees and give her a good spanking.
Oh.
Thank you. Steve?
Yes, sir?
Sorry about up there. I didn't mean to take it out on you.
Oh, hey, it's all right, sir.
Okay, it's 11:30. What have we got now?
It's Dr. Corman's office, sir.
The deputy DA and my dentist all in one day?
Well, sir, you know, I don't know what this...
Here, you drive.
All right.
Just take it easy. Okay. All right. Rinse. Take a look.
Cute.
Now tell the truth. Did it hurt?
Not yet.
You want to know the secret?
No.
Millie?
Gentle hands, consummate skill.
And vast quantities of procaine, which will wear off in a couple of hours.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. See you at the poker game tonight?
You ever known me to miss one?
Bring your checkbook.
You bring yours. I'm feeling lucky.
Oh, thank you.
You look just great, Commissioner.
Well, you don't look bad yourself. What are you doing this weekend?
Getting married.
Whole new porcelain jacket for nothing.
Commissioner, how about next weekend?
I give you the new morality.
Yeah. See you, Wes. I'm late for the mayor.
Tell him to give me a ring. I want to adjust his new bridge work.
I'll do that.
Millie?
Hello, Horace.
How are you, Mac?
A little numb. Your son-in-law just put in a new jacket.
Oh, let me take a look.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a minute. Huh, you know, the older I get, the better he gets.
I thought you were going to retire.
Oh, no. Even with this bum ticker on mine, I like to come in once or twice a week.
Well, good to see you, Horace.
Keep smiling.
Until the procaine wears off.
Hello, Horace. What's the matter?
I just had a talk with our business manager.
Oh, the Young Street deal, yeah.
Do you honestly think that I would sit by while you borrowed $100,000 against this practice to invest in some harebrained oil scheme?
It's a legitimate setup, Horace.
7 years I've put up with you just because my daughter, misguided though she may have been, loved you. Happily, however, that unfortunate situation has come to an end.
What?
Oh, don't pretend to be surprised. Dick Valentine has already introduced her to a very excellent divorce lawyer.
Well, I admit we've had some trouble, but I never thought she'd be actually serious about wanting a
Oh,
divorce.
she's serious. See, and so am I. It's over, Wesley. I've bailed you out of your last tight spot. I've paid your last bill. I hold $220,000 in IOUs, and I intend to
We're
collect.
simply trying to diversify.
One
Horace, that's all.
racehorse, $20,000. It drops dead of a heart attack at the second time out of the gate. And a land promotion at Ensenada, $100,000 down the drain.
Did you ever stop long enough to ask yourself why?
I think the word is opportunist.
Well, let me tell you something, Horace. If Lydia had been a wife to me in the real sense of the word, I wouldn't have gone running around trying to become a junior league Howard Hughes.
Now, don't you try to blame this on Lydia.
I didn't bring up our marital problems. You did. So you might as well know the truth. I'm not the one that's been running around. I have been trying to save our marriage.
Are you insinuating?
I'm insinuating nothing. I'm telling you flat out, your daughter is having an affair. I don't know with whom, and I don't care. All I know is that I love her in spite of it, and I'm trying desperately to save this marriage. Not only for our sakes, for yours too, Horace. But if it comes to a divorce, I'm not gonna let you make me out the heavy. Lydia?
I'm in here.
And one final remark about integrity in government. It is a dream as old as utopia, as elusive as men's promises, as unobtainable as a rainbow. And yet it must somehow be obtained if this great republic is to survive. This is Alan Evans. Good night.
Like what you see? darling?
I didn't hear your car.
Those prices you're not supposed to. Have you spoken with your father today?
Well, he called early this morning. Why?
He dropped by the office before lunch. We had a rather heated discussion. He said you'd talked to Dick Valentine about a divorce lawyer.
We agreed it was the best thing.
I never agreed to anything. I couldn't.
Look, you're going to find out about this sooner or later.
About your lover? I'm not blind.
I just thought perhaps we could behave like adults.
Lydia, when the papers go through, when I'm gone, all right. It's your life, darling. But don't cut me up into pieces now.
All right.
Lydia, I'm trying to understand. Darling, I don't want to make this any harder for either one of us than it already is. I just want you to know that if anything happens, if you change your mind, I'm here. I'll always be here.
Now you're cutting me up.
You want me to stay at home tonight? We can talk, maybe find out what's wrong.
No, no.
All right, I understand. The game's at Dick Valentine's. If you need me.
Oh, I've been trying to reach you all day. No, there's nothing wrong. It just... I was just wondering if you would mind skipping tonight. I know you're going tomorrow. Oh, all right, all right. Maybe it'd be better if we did talk. No, nothing. I'll see you at 8:30.
I call. Flush.
Aces over sixes, full bolt. Sorry about that, Mac.
9 o'clock, I'm already getting killed.
Yeah, you can already afford it.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, the game is 5-card stud. All right.
5 start.
Come on.
Come in.
Let's go. Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
Short.
Nice little Jake.
Your bet.
Okay, I bet 5.
All right, boys, I'm gonna make you pay for those. I'm gonna bet,
I ought to arrest you guys for gambling. I fold.
I'd fold, too.
The way Wes is playing tonight, it ain't gambling, it's stealing.
Go ask you, Murray.
Excuse me for living.
How long are you going to be in New York?
Couple of weeks. When I get back, I want to tell Wes about us.
There may not be anything to tell.
What did you say?
I am so confused. He's just been wonderful the last few days. He's been like he was when we first met.
Now listen to me. It's not going to be easy. We love each other, Lydia. And I don't want us sneaking around anymore.
And I don't want to hurt him.
Don't you know you've been married to the guy for 8 years? He doesn't love you. You know that? He's just trying to protect himself.
All right, look, Al. Just give me a little time to work it out. All right?
Come here.
No, I really mean it. I need time to think. I don't feel like it, really.
Lydia, is Wesley in? I just dropped by to...
Get out of this house.
Oh,
Foil.
I'm gonna make a paper, boys. That'll be 10.
I don't know.
Or you can fold, or you can bet, or, you know.
You're a lot of laughs tonight, Wes.
I'm losing a fortune. You want me to make jokes?
I may just bump you 5.
Yeah.
Hey.
Come on.
You're getting expensive.
Okay.
Expensive.
Well, I'll
Don't let him buy it. Keep him honest.
Wes?
It's for you. Oh, okay. Thanks.
You want me to play your hand, Wes?
No, fold. Hello?
Please come home. Right away.
Yeah, what is it?
Just come home.
Okay. I'm on my way.
Wes, everything all right?
No, everything's okay. Something come up. I gotta take off. Dick, I'll settle up with you tomorrow, okay?
No problem.
See you guys.
Yeah, see you, man.
Okay, guys.
Come on, deal him
All right,
up.
let's go again.
Let's go. Okay, let's deal it.
This for the restaurant, man?
Yeah.
I'm in.
Morris, what's going on? Lydia? What's happening?
He's dead.
You make me feel like love is just a 4-letter word.
Did you have a good time?
What's that supposed to mean? In a way.
Well, there's more to
I
love.
was playing poker.
Just what?
In no way.
What are you watching this time?
Lover will meet again. I never miss it. Oh, look, I got all day to sleep. How much you lose?
You will be both proud and happy to learn that I won $24.
Well, finally broke out of that losing streak. Sergeant DiMaggio will be happy to hear about that. He called about an hour ago.
Does anybody sleep anymore?
It's just that those warts that I was willing to live before have gotten bigger. I don't want to change you. Please don't misunderstand me. I just want you to make more of
You know, I just figured it out. You played all night, so that should come to about $2.75 an hour.
Sergeant DiMaggio, please.
What's the minimum wage for unskilled labor?
Agatha, you have the remarkable talent of turning triumph into a disaster. DiMaggio? Me.
Oh, hello. How much did you... Well, that's better than the last 2 times out, sir.
No. I won $24.
No kidding. Well, that's great, sir.
Probably less than the minimum wage. What's up?
Alan Evans is dead. I was sure you'd want to know. He ran off the road on Route 11 right near the Washburn Crossroads. The chief's out there right now. They're waiting for you. Sir, it was a one-car accident in dry weather, and I thought that considering it's a prominent citizen...
Yeah, you're right. Okay, pick me up, will you? Guess what? Alan Evans is dead.
The anchor man on the 6 o'clock news?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
It's Route 11.
They shouldn't have bothered you, Commissioner. There's nothing here.
I just heard about it. I was up anyway.
At 5 in the morning? What were you doing? Watching Lover? We'll meet again?
What happened?
Probably a heart attack. Evans ran off the road. Do me a favor. Don't find anything.
Really a shame, sir.
Yeah.
Young, good-looking guy. Top of the heaps, got everything to live for. One minute you're here, next minute, snuff out.
Gesundheit.
Oh. Yeah, you know, my mother's right. Just let people laugh. Let them laugh. When it rains, you wear a raincoat, wear a hat, rubbers, something. Just stay healthy.
Gesundheit. Lieutenant. Was anything touched in here when Evans was pulled out?
No, sir. We were waiting for you.
That's funny.
What is?
Well, he's driving along and he has a seizure. Loses control of his car and plows into the creek. Now he's either unconscious from the seizure or from the impact, right?
Yes, sir.
Then why is the gear in park?
That's a very good question, sir.
And who turned off the lights? Unless he was driving without them.
That's two good questions, sir.
Well, open and shut, huh?
Chief, do you have Evans' personal effects?
How?
This is just a receipt.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you find this?
In his shirt pocket, along with his cigarettes. Nothing wrong, is there? You know, I retire in 45 days. I mean, this Alan Evans, a well-known guy. Oh, don't tell me we're going to be saddled with a...
I just want to check something out. Come on, monsieur. Gesundheit.
Oh, hi, Mac. What are you doing here? You looking for another poker game, huh?
No, Wes. Oh, this is Sergeant DiMaggio.
Morning.
May we come in?
Oh, sure. Come on in. It's freezing out there. I just made a fresh pot of coffee. Would you like a cup?
I'd love some.
Sounds like you're gonna go.
Yes, sir. I did listen to my mother last week when it rained.
Gesundheit.
Hey, how about a little breakfast? I can whip something up and nothing.
No, thank you. Coffee's fine.
Go ahead.
I forgot. Are you supposed to starve a cold and feed a fever, or is it the other way around?
You feed a cold, and you feed a cold English muffins. Hmm?
Oh, no, not for me.
No, there's no problem.
No, I'll just have some coffee.
Okay. Well, what brings you out this way, Mac?
Alan Evans.
Yeah? What about him?
He was found dead this morning out on Route 11.
What, car accident?
Car went off the road. I think it was a heart attack.
I just can't believe it.
When he was here last night, did he mention anything about how he was feeling? Chest pains, for example?
No. I never heard a thing about it. How did you know he was here?
His matches were found in his shirt pocket. Well, he was here last night, wasn't he?
Oh, yes, he was. He must have picked them up off the coffee table. I couldn't swear to that, of course. Well, he was gone before I got back home.
He was here with Lydia?
Yes, social visit. He was in the neighborhood. I've known him for some time. He dropped in. She gave him a brandy, and then he left.
I see. Could I talk with Lydia?
Well, Mac, she's asleep right now, and I'd hate to wake her up with something like this.
I'll come back later.
Appreciate it, really. Come on, I'll show you the door.
Thanks.
Sad, isn't it? Heart attack like that, right out of left field. And you know, the irony is the younger the man, the higher mortality rate.
The autopsy ought to tell us a little bit more.
Autopsy?
Yeah, automatic in a situation like this.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, how's the tooth?
Oh, fine. I had a tuna fish sandwich yesterday before the procaine wore off.
And you bet yourself. I'm sorry. I should have warned you about that.
I'll survive. See you.
Thank you for the coffee.
You know, sir, I just can't help thinking about Alan Evans.
Yeah.
My mother's right. I gotta get a checkup.
Would you drop me off at home first?
Yeah. You know, I had a cousin once. Guy never smoked. He never drank. Terrific athlete, this guy. Worked out all the time. One day, he was just walking down the street. That's it. Went, just like that.
Heart attack?
Nope, run over by a bakery truck.
Gesundheit.
Thank you, sir.
Interesting, Commissioner. This man's heart did not attack him. What killed him, though, was the kind of medication that a patient would take to prevent a heart attack. It's called digitalis. In its pure form, it's deadly. However, there's no indication and no evidence of a prior heart condition. And even if there were, it's not likely that he would have taken an overdose. The minimum fatal dose of digitalis is 3 milligrams, and my lab results show 5-6 times that amount in his body.
How long would it take for that much to kill him?
Well, I was just about to say that a minute, 2 minutes at the most.
Any marks on the body?
No, it's clean as a whistle, aside from a deep gash interior of the mouth, right cheek. Probably caused by convulsions just prior to death.
Well, thank you, Johnson. Appreciate the quick report.
Sure. Oh, Commissioner, keep me posted on this one, will you? I've got a theory.
Suicide?
How'd you guess?
Because you can't figure out what I can't figure out, which is, how do you kill a man in his own car out in the middle of nowhere with digitalis, right?
Right.
It's a hell of a good question. Yes?
Commissioner, are you in for the Deputy District Attorney?
Not necessarily.
I heard that.
I thought you might.
Now, look, Commissioner, you cannot hold on to this Pomeroy case any longer. I just heard that 2 more witnesses have come into the fold. Now, what more do you need?
Nothing more.
I can understand you're being stubborn, even pig-headed. But you cannot sit on this case any longer.
I agree.
Good. It's not even a question of personality. You agree?
Mm-hmm. I signed the Pomeroy papers this morning. They're on your desk.
Oh.
You were right about the case, but I had to wait until those 2 witnesses came into the picture.
Oh, no. Of course not. Well, you understand that I was pressing because I knew that those 2 witnesses would have to come forth sooner or later.
Well, as a matter of fact, they didn't come forth. I had to find them.
They didn't cooperate.
Mm-hmm.
You made them.
Yes, in a word.
Oh, well.
Would you like to sit down?
Yes. Dear, well, I don't quite know what to say. I suppose I have been a bit pushy, even unfair.
So have I. How about a truce? Well,
could I bring up some new business?
anything.
This Alan Evans case, is it a murder?
Oh, you've been talking to Chief Paulson.
Well, we had a little chat.
Did he bring up the autopsy?
Something about digitalis poisoning.
All right. It doesn't have to be murder.
Suicide?
Possibly.
But not likely.
No. If it's suicide, we'll find out soon enough. If it's murder, I've got a handful of suspects.
You're a friend of the family's, aren't you?
Yeah. That's what makes it tough. Well, we should find out more in the morning. Which, leaves us with tonight.
What's happening tonight?
How about a formal signing of the truce? Stephanie?
Are you inviting me to dinner, Mac?
I am.
I accept.
Good. 8:30, my house?
Why not?
Good. I have an appointment. I'll walk out with you.
Uh-huh. Well.
Lydia,
Oh, hello, Mac.
I'm sorry to bother you, but I have to ask a few questions.
Yes, it's perfectly all right. Please sit down.
We're just here to contribute whatever help we can.
Thank you. I realize this is all very unpleasant.
Can I get anybody anything?
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Mark, have your people completed the autopsy?
Horace, you have a heart condition, haven't you?
Yes.
Do you take medication for it?
I do.
Did you tell us?
Well, as a matter of fact, yes, but what's the point of your question?
Alan Evans did not die of a heart attack. It was either suicide or he was murdered.
That's impossible.
I'm afraid it's not. He died of an extreme overdose of digitalis.
Just what are you implying?
You're not insinuating that Horace killed Alan Evans.
I'm saying that if Alan Evans were murdered, Horace had access to the drug.
Well, as a dentist, so have I. Now, if you're accusing anyone here of murder, you better have a little more than coincidence to rely on.
I'm not accusing anybody of anything. Lydia, I want you to tell me about last night. What time Alan arrived, what you talked about, how long did he stay?
He dropped by around 8:30. And when he realized that Wes wasn't home, he had a drink and he left.
Alive and very healthy, I might add.
Was he here when you got home?
No, I told you he left before I got home. I told you that this morning.
Lydia, did he eat or drink anything else while he was here?
Just the brandy?
Yes, it's over here.
Don't touch that, Sergeant. I'm afraid we'll have to take that with us. Wes, at the card game last night, you got that phone call and then you left immediately.
It was an emergency. I ran to the office, that's all.
I see. Well, thank you. Sorry to bother you, Lydia. Horace?
Good day.
Sir, they're awful nice people, but, well, that's it, sir.
But what was he talking about?
Nothing. Don't worry.
Wes, it does not make sense.
You look exhausted. Why don't you go lie down for a
I
while?
don't want to lie down.
Darling, do as he suggests. I want to talk to him.
Wes, I am very frightened.
Don't be. Everything will be all right.
Wesley, I want you to know something. I misjudged you. What you did last night was a very courageous act, and I'll never forget it.
I told you before, I love her. I know what she'd have to face if the truth came out. I don't want to see her go through that.
Neither do I. Mac must never know Alan Evans died in this room.
He won't. Not if you and your son and I stick together.
If you're not going to finish yours, could I? Just
sure.
Oh. I know I'm making a fool out of myself, but I can't help it. This is delicious souffle. What does she put in it?
Oh, love potions, aphrodisiacs. She's a sort of a chaperone in reverse.
Well, Agatha's a gem.
Like an uncut tourmaline.
Coffee. Oh, it's much too bright in here. Spoils the atmosphere. Well, I guess I'll toddle on to bed.
You've got it so dark in here, I doubt if you'll be able to find it.
You know what they say about going to bed? Where there's a will, there's a way.
Well, it's a real famous saying, all right.
I see what you mean.
Now, would you like to have some coffee in here? Or would you like to have some cognac by the fire?
Which is more romantic?
Yes.
We wouldn't want to disappoint Agatha now.
Of course not. Thank you. How do you like that?
I don't.
What do you think we should do about it?
Let it ring again.
Shall I get it?
No, I'll get it. Excuse me.
Sorry, sir. I know it's a terrible thing to come up to somebody's house in the middle of the night, come banging on
Some
the door.
countries, it's known as police terrorism.
But Lieutenant Enright told me to do this.
Do what?
This. Here. He wanted you to see this before anybody else got a chance. You know, like the chief or the deputy DA. What? I really... Could this... Good evening.
What is it I'm not supposed to see?
Oh, it's the Alan Emmons case. Lab report.
Oh? Well, that just about wraps it up, doesn't it?
I'm not so sure.
Why not? You have definite proof of a crime, the motive and the method.
Something about it still bothers me.
Well, it wouldn't bother me. I'd issue a warrant right away.
I know, but you're not the police commissioner.
Oh, you mean it's so complicated I wouldn't understand.
I didn't say that.
But you implied it.
You're not. We're not going to start that again, are we?
No. We're stopping. Thank you for a lovely dinner. Good night.
But, you see? Now, why don't you go on and walk?
Walk her to her
Yes.
car? Okay. I'm sorry, sir. I'm very sorry.
Hi.
Hi.
Is Dr. Corman in?
When you put it that way, I'm sure he is. Doctor, Commissioner McMillan is here to see you.
Send him into my private office. I'll be with him in a minute.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Is there anything I can get for you, Commissioner? Coffee, anything?
I don't think so. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You looking at Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Poor guy. I really liked him. He never got here yesterday.
Yesterday?
Yes, he had an appointment here.
An appointment yesterday.
Yes. Just a filling.
Mac. Thank you, Francis.
Nice to see you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Mac, I owe you an apology.
For what?
I kind of blew my stack yesterday. Just the suggestion of anybody in my family being under suspicion just set me off, that's all.
I'm afraid it's more than suspicion, Wes. The lab examined that bottle of brandy. It was filled with digitalis. And the only fingerprints found on the bottle were Lydia's.
Are you trying to tell me that Lydia poisoned him and then put the bottle back on the bar? Well, that's ridiculous. No, he must have killed himself. It just had to be suicide.
A man doesn't make a social call and pour digitalis into somebody else's brandy bottle in order to commit suicide. Now, the amount of digitalis found in that body was enough to kill him in less than 2 minutes. If, for some unfathomable reason, he poisoned himself in your house, how could he then get into his car and drive 6 miles before he dropped dead? He died right in your house, and I think the body was moved.
Lydia is no more capable of murder than she is of moving the body of that 200-pound man.
Somebody else did that. We better take a ride downtown.
Downtown?
Lydia is being held for questioning.
Why would I kill him? I loved him. I'm sorry, Wes.
Doesn't matter. The fact is, Mac, I've known about another man for some time. I just didn't know who.
Lydia, you and Alan Evans were alone in your house last night, weren't you?
You don't have to answer that, Lydia, if you don't
No,
want to.
I want to. I don't have anything to hide anymore. Monday is Wes's night at poker. The maid leaves at 6. And Alan usually came over for a few hours.
And?
We talked. And then I offered him a brandy, and he sipped it. And he just seemed to fall over. I called the doctor, and he wasn't in, so I phoned Stephen, my brother. And he said he would be right over. And he told me to call Wes.
That's when you left the card game?
Yes.
And Horace?
By the time I arrived, he was already there.
Mm-hmm. And then? You moved the body, didn't you, Wes?
I had to, Mac. I had to. Horace took Lydia upstairs, and Stephen and I did the rest. We found a deserted stretch of road, and I drove Alan's car into the creek. I moved his body into the driver's seat, wiped off my fingerprints, and I put his hands on the wheel. Look, I know it was the wrong thing to do. I thought I was doing the right thing. I just had to assume that he died of natural causes. And what was the harm of getting the body out of the house? It just seemed like a logical thing to do at the time. I was worried about Lydia, what a scandal like this would do to her, and Horace, what this kind of scandal would do to him.
Lydia, you said you gave Alan some brandy. Did you drink any?
I don't drink.
I see. I'm sorry, Lydia. I'm going to have to book you.
We didn't discuss this. I'll have you out on bail right away.
Don't worry about a thing, darling.
I'm all right.
I'll see you later, darling. Don't worry about a thing. All right? What about me, Mac?
Technically, you're accessory to the crime. Actually, you didn't know anything about it, so I'm going to hold off for a while on you.
I appreciate that. I'm going to locate Horace, bring him up to date.
I want to speak to you.
All
And
right.
I'd like a copy of that tape, Mac.
Right.
You think she did it?
No. At least not alone. Sherwin?
Yeah.
I'm Commissioner McMillan. Remember me?
Oh, sure, yes. How are you, Commissioner?
I'm fine, thanks. Quite a beauty you have here.
Yeah, it's the love of my life.
I called your office. They said you'd be out here.
One of the advantages of being a stockbroker in California, your afternoons are free. Because the disadvantage is you have to get up with the sun.
Could you spare me a few minutes?
Of course. Wes called. I'll be glad to do anything I can to help.
I'd like to know more about last Monday night.
It was a nightmare. Lydia was hysterical. Dad was close to shock. Quite frankly, I don't remember being too coherent myself. Wes was the only one who kept his cool.
Your father was there when you arrived?
Yeah.
Wes, quite a guy. Comes home, not only finds his wife's lover, but he's dead. I'd have been pretty upset.
Well, Wes is the kind of guy, excuse me. Wes is the kind of guy, keeps himself on a pretty tight rein. But, under fire, he was all right. He was calm, he was in control.
How involved are you in your father's business affairs?
Quite a bit. I handled a medical firm's portfolio.
Healthy?
I'm very conservative with my father's money.
What about Wes?
Wes isn't really big in the stock market. He prefers more speculative ventures.
He does well?
He's had his setbacks.
Is he solvent?
I think Dad's lent him quite a bit of money over the years.
How much is a good deal of money?
I really don't know the exact figure. I'm sorry.
Has he paid your father back?
I don't really know. What are you after, Commissioner?
Other than Lydia, I have two obvious suspects.
Who are they?
You, your father.
I resent that.
I'm not accusing. I'm just searching for possible motives.
Listen, Commissioner, all I can tell you is the man was dead when I got to the house. If you want any more than that, I suggest you contact Richard Valentine.
All right, Stephen. I'll see you again.
He's getting coffee.
What did you find out about Evan's answering service?
Oh, I was just gonna come down and tell you, sir.
You having trouble?
Yeah, that thing took my last quarter.
Okay, let me try.
Thank you. I talked to the lady that takes Evan's phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
She said that he checked in around 4:30 that day. She said he sounded bombed.
Bombed?
Yeah, you're all boozed up.
What's my money?
Yes, sir.
Doesn't make any sense. He had a newscast at 6 o'clock. Why would he get drunk an hour and a half before airtime?
Well, sir, I don't know, sir. That's what it would take for me to broadcast.
Hey, wait a minute. The other day you said I sounded like I was bombed.
Well, yes, sir, but that was from the dentist's office.
Yeah, from Procaine.
Right.
Get somebody to fix this. I'll be right back.
Right, sir. Okay.
Wes?
Oh, hi, Mac.
You don't mind?
No. I hide out in here one day a week, try to catch up on some of this work.
What you got there?
It's a porcelain jacket, similar to the one you have, as a matter of fact. What can I do for you?
I'd like to ask you about this parking ticket stub.
Yeah?
It was issued to Alan Evans.
Alan?
I had it checked at the garage. It was issued to him at 1:27 Monday afternoon. Now, what bothers me was that he wasn't due for his dental appointment until Tuesday afternoon.
Well, it's a pretty big building. It's full of doctors and lawyers and accountants. He could have been visiting somebody else, I suppose.
He could have, yes. But he didn't. I had that checked.
Oh?
What bothers me is that you purposely left a trail leading back to your own house.
Mac, what are you trying to say?
After you drove Evans' car into the creek, you turned off the lights and put the gear shift lever into park. Then you planted these on him.
I did?
Not a single match was used.
Well, he probably didn't get around to using them, that's all.
Didn't have to. There was a filled cigarette lighter in his pocket.
Mac, Evans visited my wife every Monday night. She admitted that. He could have picked up those things weeks ago.
I'd buy that if this was found in his jacket pocket, but it wasn't. It was found in his shirt pocket. Now, if he's like anybody else, he changes his shirt every day.
Are you suggesting that I deliberately left those matches on Alan, knowing that the police would investigate, find poison in the body, and then dump the whole thing back on Lydia? In other words, I framed my own wife?
Not in other words. In those words.
Then you also have to believe that I murdered Evans? Well, that's some kind of trick. How could I have murdered anyone when I was playing poker with you?
That I haven't figured out yet.
You gotta be joking.
I'm not.
Mac, this dinner was for the express purpose of starting truce number 2.
I know.
You're turning it into a platform, which doesn't bother me as much as the fact that you have nothing to go on.
Lydia did not kill Alan Evans. Now, if she goes to court, she's going to be convicted.
That's right, because there's a very strong case against her. Look, I have a responsibility in this, too. I'm supposed to be prosecuting.
But you'll be prosecuting an innocent woman.
But you brought her in. You're the one who built the case against her.
The case has changed, I told you.
Well, what am I supposed to do? Throw this whole thing out because the police commissioner has a hunch?
If it was your hunch, it would be called woman's intuition with a mystical validity.
All right.
It's injustice, that's all.
All right, let's just say that you're right. Everybody that was there that night has testified that Alan Evans was dead before Wesley arrived.
Wes is the only one with a motive, and I think that motive is money. Well, let's get out of here.
I don't know if I go along with your theory. Wesley Corman's a very successful dentist.
I know, but watch what happens when he kills her. Number 1, he gets rid of his wife's lover. Number 2, he gets rid of his faithless wife. And number 3, by staunchly supporting this same faithless wife, he becomes a hero in the eyes of his father-in-law, to whom I'll bet he owes a fortune.
Interesting, but it's still conjecture.
I know. Oh, I'm sorry. It's that brown sedan.
getting stalled and handing me your ticket.
Well, you guessed it, sir. We found a timing device, wiring, the whole bit.
Mac, who'd want to kill us?
Not us. Me. Sergeant, would you mind dropping us off at my house?
No, not at all, sir.
Thank you.
Gesundheit. Thank you, sir. Ma'am?
I know a witch doctor with a remedy for that.
What's that, sir?
A fiery liquid, ancient and mysterious, with powerful remedial qualities.
Sounds fantastic. What is it?
Chicken soup.
You got company, Commissioner. Doc Sherwin. He insisted upon seeing you. Gesundheit.
Oh, Agatha, do you have any chicken soup?
Have I got chicken soup? Come on, Sergeant.
Horace.
Oh, Mac, I've got to speak to you.
Horace, this is Miss Stephanie Bryant, Deputy District Attorney.
How do you do?
Miss Bryant, you might as well hear this, too. I killed Alan Evans.
Horace. You?
Yes.
Come on. Let's have a drink. Tell me about it.
Well, you see, that night I dropped by their house on the way from the club. I came in through the kitchen. When I arrived, I could hear an argument going on. It was Lydia and Alan Evans. They were in the living room, and she was trying to fight him off. So I barged into the room, and I told him to get out of the house. He refused. He told me to mind my own business. He said he was going to marry Lydia. That was what the argument was all about. See, Lydia was trying to back out of the relationship, and Evans would have nothing to do with it. Finally, he got very, very abusive. And I tried to strike him, and he just brushed me aside. Lydia tried to protect me, and he struck her. And he struck her again, deliberately, calculatedly. I just couldn't take it.
So you killed him?
Yes. I pretended to have a seizure. I asked Alan to get me some water, and I sent Lydia to get my medication. And while they were out of the room, I crushed up some digitalis capsules and put them in the brandy bottle.
Thinking that Alan would want a brandy after all this excitement.
Well, there was a half-empty glass on the coffee table when I arrived.
Why didn't you put it in the glass?
I did. I didn't want to miss a chance.
Horace, I don't believe you.
I tell you, I killed him. He was having an affair with my daughter. He was taking advantage of her. All I wanted to do was protect her.
You're still trying to protect her.
My daughter never killed that man.
I know she didn't, but neither did you.
You have my confession. I demand that you free Lydia immediately.
Horace, you're wasting my time.
I am telling you the truth. I insist you arrest me for murder.
All right. Then also an attempted murder.
I don't understand.
Well, if you're the murderer, then you placed a time bomb in my car earlier this evening. And because your timing was off, the car blew up before we could enter it. We're lucky to be alive. No, you didn't kill him. Neither did Lydia. That leaves two other people. Wesley and Stephen.
Well, not Stephen.
No, not Stephen. He wasn't there long enough to get near the brandy.
Wesley?
Wesley.
But how?
I don't know. But I do know that Alan Evans went into Wesley's office on Monday and had his teeth worked on.
Well, if you're suggesting that Evans was poisoned while he sat in that dental chair, that's absurd. Digitalis works fast. The man would have been dead right then and there.
I know I'm right. I just don't have any proof.
I'm sorry.
Mac, you better send the sergeant home to bed.
Right, before he sneezes us all into the hospital.
Well, what is that you're taking?
It's a pill. I took a pill this morning.
No, not a pill. You should take one of those time-release capsules. They work for hours.
What is a time-release capsule?
Well, it's a slow-dissolving capsule with coated beads of medication inside that dissolve at different speeds.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Horace. Say that again.
It's a slow-dissolving capsule with coated beads of medication inside that dissolve at different speeds.
Horace, I know it's late, but could we look at some x-rays in Wesley's office? What's the matter?
Alan Evans came in to have a cavity filled, the lower left bicuspid.
Mm-hmm.
Not a thing was done to it.
Well, that doesn't make any sense. I know he was here. Lower left bicuspid. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see that autopsy report. Laceration inside lower right cheek.
Here he comes.
Well, double surprise. What's going on?
Mac wants a positive ID on some dental x-rays.
Is this going to end up another one of your accusations, Mac?
Are these Alan Evans x-rays?
Yes, they are.
I had a couple of them mounted so we could project them onto the screen to take a closer look.
Well, what's your point?
This case had me going in circles for a while. For example, why would Lydia kill somebody with poison brandy and then leave the bottle around?
Well, now, that is exactly what I've been saying.
She didn't. You did. Let's go back. Alan came into your office on Monday, and with the office staff out to lunch, you worked on his mouth. You knew he was going to visit Lydia that night. What a perfect setup. Just a little digitalis.
Okay, say Alan was here. How did I feed him a quick-acting poison that somehow didn't take effect for, what, 8 or 9 hours?
With this.
The medical gel?
You encased the poison in the gel, knowing the gel would dissolve slowly in his mouth 8 or 9 hours later, and while he was alone with Lydia. And while you were sitting at a poker game with a perfect alibi.
If it is an alibi, it is perfect.
Because Alan had to go to New York on Tuesday, it was simple enough to get him into your office on Monday. And with everybody out to lunch, who would ever know he'd ever been there?
So instead of filling the tooth correctly, I filled it with a poison glob of medical gel. Well, that's brilliant deduction, Mac. Brilliant. Except for one thing. Alan needed work done on his lower left bicuspid. And if you examine the postmortem x-rays, you'll find that no work was done at all.
Horace? This is the postmortem x-ray. And you're right. There was no work done on the lower left side. You gave me Procaine the other day. I bit my cheek and it left a gash. The autopsy report shows the same gash on Alan's cheek. He bit his cheek, too.
What is the point?
Well, I find that just a little bit odd because the gash was on the right side while the cavity was on the left. Now, why would you shoot procaine into the side of the mouth that had no cavities? Obviously, you convinced him that some work had to be done on the other side of the mouth. Take a look. The X-ray before and after Alan's death. Before and after. Notice anything? That crown there? Lower right?
Obviously, it had been removed and put back. And very badly, I might add. Of course, you had no reason to be neat. Alan Evans would be dead in a few hours.
That crown showed traces of digitalis and a residue of medical gel. It worked like a time bomb. It's pretty consistent with his use of timing mechanisms, like the time bomb he put in my car last night. Oh, Wes, don't be foolish. Sergeant DiMaggio's right outside.
Yes, Doctor?
I thought you'd cover yourself. That's why I buzzed Frances in. She'll get us through. You too, Mac. Put your arms behind your back. Now walk very slowly. No horse. Hold it, Mac. All right. Slowly now. Slowly. Hold it, Sergeant. Put your hands behind your back. Down the corner.
The stairs!
All right. Wes, stop right there! DiMaggio, no! Wes, please. Don't make him do it.
All right, get him up. Come on. Higher. Come on.
Is it? God bless you.
I'll call.
And raise $2.
Hey, where's our seventh player, Mac?
Anytime.
I hate a six-handed game.
The way you play could be a two-handed game.
I need this abuse. Hey, Dick, can I sue for defamation of character?
You have no case.
Our seventh player.
I'll get it.
It's about time.
Paul?
Uh-huh. 10s and 4s. Who's got
Who is he? Anybody we know?
Come on, all of them, all
Let
of
me have
them. We
the
want
cards.
to see every card.
Sorry I'm late.
That's okay.
Sorry I'm late.
Abroad?
You noticed.
Move over, you guys.
For me?
Hi.
We're gonna play cards or smooch?
Welcome to the Monday night game.
Thank you. What's the buy-in?
$50, your deal.
Dealer's choice?
Of course.
It's been years since I played Old Maid.
Milo. Ooh, ace of hearts, ace of spades.